Good evening on the World News tonight from BGI TV. First, the headlines. Supreme Court judgments. Kano governor reveals how Tinubu Shetima turned down so many efforts from Ganduje. Nigerian Union of Teachers direct members in FCT schools to resume indefinite strike Monday. Why there won't be military interference in Nigerian politics again. Babangida. Kwankwaso denies reaching agreement with Tinubu. Why we will form revolutionary party soon. Femi Falana. I tried everything to make Gani Fahimi my friend, but he refused. And on sports, Yusuf change in tactics hints at changes to line up for Super Eagles game against Equatorial Guinea on Sunday. I am Morire Rabila Lawal, the news in detail. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State expressed admiration for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's courage in resisting external pressures to intervene in the Supreme Court judgment on governorship elections. The Kano governor thanked Tinubu and his deputy, Senator Kashim Shettima, for maintaining their stance despite substantial pressure. In reference to Governor Abdullahi Ganduji's alleged efforts, former governor, to use the presidency to influence the Supreme Court judgment in favor of APC gubernatorial candidate Yusuf Gowna, Governor Yusuf emphasized Tinubu's and Shettima's consistent refusals as a testament to Nigeria being genuinely well governed. The statement by Yusuf's aide read on path. The governor noted with pleasure how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his deputy Kashim Shettima did interfere in the apex court judgment despite stiff pressure from disgruntled quarters. The Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, has directed all primary school teachers in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Abuja, to resume indefinitely its suspended strike with effect from Monday. The union, in a communique issued on Saturday in Abuja, said that the decision was taken at its state-winged standing committee emergency meeting which held at the Teachers' House in Gwegwalada, Abuja. The union, in a communique jointly signed by its state chairman, Comrade Abdullahi Shafis, Secretary Margaret Jethro, and Publicity Secretary Ibukun Adekeye, also said that secondary school teachers would join the indefinite strike on Friday. A former Nigerian military president, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, says he is convinced that there would not be any interference from the military, again, which may truncate the progress of democracy in the country. Nigeria witnessed a lot of military incursions in its politics after independence, with men in uniform ruling the country more than the civilians until 1999. Babangida was one of the military men that led the country during that period, ruling for 8 years from 1985 to 1993. Speaking on an interview, the former military leader stated that military interference robbed Nigeria of true federalism, adding that the era of military dabbling into politics has come to an end because Nigerians have become more interested in becoming a truly democratic nation. Such things happen, but I believe it will not happen again because Nigerians are becoming more interested in becoming a truly democratic nation in Africa, and such thing I don't think it will happen again, Babangida concluded. On politics, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the presidential candidate of the new Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, has unequivocally refuted any claims of pre-arranged agreement with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu regarding the outcome of the Supreme Court on Kano State governorship election. In an interview, Kwankwaso addressed the allegations that he reached an agreement with Tinubu before the judgment and provided insight into his perspective on the recent legal development. On Friday, the Supreme Court affirmed Abba Kabir Yusuf, the NNPP candidate, as the duly elected governor of Kano State, ending a series of litigations. Kwankwaso used the opportunity to share his reflections on the political landscape, emphasizing the importance of the lessons learned from the Supreme Court's decision. Acknowledging his relationship with Tinubu, Kwankwaso recounted their shared political journey, starting from their days in the Social Democratic Party, SDP, and culminating in the founding of All Progressive Congress, APC. He underscored that despite any perceived differences, he and Tinubu had actively participated in political struggles together. Femi Falana, a senior advocate of Nigeria, has said there is a plan to come up with a revolutionary political party which will address the burning issues in Nigeria. Falana said that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration must act on the information it is receiving from Nigerians on alleged corruption cases. Falana added Nigerians are feeding the government with information and the government is expected to act. If the government can't act, the people can be mobilized to compel the government to act either by going to court or by going onto the streets. This country can't afford to continue the old ways. We are planning a revolutionary party that would put the questions of ideology and security at the forefront of the border. I'm going to be a member, he said. Another story from ex-military ruler Babangida. Nigeria's 8th Commander-in-Chief and military head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida IBB, has said the late civil rights lawyer, Chief Gani Fawayemi's son, never wanted to be seen with him because he was perceived as an evil genius. Babangida said he employed all possible means to make Gani Fawayemi his friend while in power but failed. Describing the late activist as a good man, IBB said a member of his cabinet, the late Alex Akinyele, also tried in vain to spark a friendship between them. Featuring on an interview, he said Gani Fawayemi is a good critic and he doesn't want to be seen with someone that people already perceive as an evil genius. I like listening to him. I made it a point to become his friend. He was very friendly with one of my former minister, the late Alex Akinyele. They were good friends and he tried to make us very good friends. If we come up with a policy, my first question to my staff was, what would Gani Fawayemi said? Still on the world news, a Nigerian military female personnel named Ruth Ogunleye has come forward with serious allegations against her superiors. She claims that some superiors whom she identified as Colonel I.B. Abdul Karim, Colonel G.S. Ogo, and Brigadier General I.B. Sholebo have made their life unbearable. Ogunleye holds Colonel I.B. Abdul Karim particularly responsible for the difficulties she has faced in the army. Ogunleye, known as at Ogunleye Ruth Savage 1 on TikTok, recently shared her distressing experience on the platform. She claimed that Abdul Karim had made repeated attempts to assault her, administered injections against her will, forcibly removed her from her residence, and confined her in a psychiatric hospital for several months. She added that the officer has hindered her career advancement by denying her promotion courses because she allegedly rejected his advances. He comes to my room to inject me in my apartment, send some boys to my house. If I'm lying, I have all evidence. I have evidence against him and I have witnesses. He also stigmatized me that I have mental illness. Each time I try to expose him, or each time any senior persons or any senior officer tries to intervene, he would tell them I have a mental illness. Ogunleye appealed to Nigerians for support. She acknowledged the potential consequences of her actions, anticipating the possible arrest. According to her father has tried to intervene with Colonel I.B. Abdul Karim to bring her some peace. She claimed the officer told her father to relay the message to her to obey the last command. Moving on to the next story. The 35 Artillery Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Abeokuta, has handed over 176 kg of Indian hemp to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Abeokuta. The brigade spokesperson, Lieutenant Mohammed Goni, made the disclosure in Abeokuta today, while the garrison commander, Colonel Leprosis Nule, represented by the brigade commander, Brigadier General Mohammed Aminu, handed over the contraband to anti-narcotic agency. According to him, the army arrested one Fatai Bankole 25 who was in possession of drugs on January 6 at Imeko while patrolling the Imeko-Abeokuta Road in Ogun. Golbi noted Nole as saying the army will continue to sustain efforts at collaborating with security agencies to rid the state of criminals and all forms of criminality. He restated the brigade's commitment to ensuring that troops maintained high standards and professionalism at all times in discharging their duties. Moving on to the foreign story. Britain has been faced with addressing issues around legal migration as it runs concurrently with the controversial effort in tackling illegal migration amid diplomatic complexities. In navigating the path of its controversial migration policy, international students, including Nigerians and their dependents, have been affected. Despite experts warning on the need to stem the looming labor gaps, the government of the United Kingdom on January 4, 2024 announced, among other developments, the take-off of its plans to remove the right of students to bring partners and children to the UK, unless a student is studying for a postgraduate research course. Finally, on sports. There will be some changes in the lineup of the senior national team of Nigeria when they take on Equatorial Guinea in their first game at the Africa Cup of Nations. In Cote d'Ivoire, the coach is famed for playing a 4-2-4 formation, but in the absence of a perfect partner for Victor Osimhen in the attack, has switched the set-up to one-man attack, with Osimhen flanked by two other wingers. Among the wingers in what will be a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 formation in Moses Simon, who starts on the left with Samuel Chukwueze stationed on the right. Ademola Lookman is expected to drop off the starting lineup for the time in a while. In the midfield, there is a high chance of Raphael Onyedike starting ahead of Frank Onyedika, with Pesero wanting a midfielder who isn't eager to venture forward as protection is needed for the back four. The duo of Joe Aribo and Alex Iwobi will be the other players in the middle of the pitch for Nigeria against Equatorial Guinea tomorrow. With the sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news. Before we go, some headlines. Kano governor reveals how Tinubu Shetima turned down Ganduje's effort at the Supreme Court. Nigerian Union of Teachers directs members in FCT schools to resume indefinite strike Monday. Why there won't be military interference in Nigerian politics again? Babangida. Kwankwaso denies reaching an agreement with Tinubu. Why we will form Revolutionary Party soon, Femi Falana. On sport, Pasero's change in tactics hints at changes to line up for Super Eagles against Equatorial Guinea tomorrow at the AFCON. Thank you for watching. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Gbagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Gbagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, kindly call on the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching once again. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good night.